Hey, welcome everyone. It's great to see y'all. We are back. This is going to be season 3, episode 1 of the Cryptid Consortium. It's great to be back. I'm here with my brother, Mr. Nick Valente. Nick, how's it going?
Oh, doing good, doing good. Everybody, our other brother, Gary, he's not here because he's under the weather. So hopefully next week he'll be back and we'll have the three of us on the Cryptid Consortium in the year 2025.
First episode of 2025.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What is this? Today is what? The January, 7th?
8th.
Today's, oh my God, I lost a day. I really did.
8th.
I lost the whole day. Darn. I mean, it's flying this month.
Absolutely. So what do we got cooking tonight, Nick?
Tonight, we're going to be doing something from East Africa, and it's known as the Nandi bear, Nandi bear.
Okay.
And this thing has been reported on since the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And Bernard Heuvelmans, who's the father of cryptozoology, he even got into this. A lot of other famous cryptozoologists and explorers have made notes and have actually tried to hunt this down in several spots that I was investigating, including not just the internet. Now I have books and everything that I check out. A lot of them have said that individuals have shot these things.
Yes.
There's one occasion where it broke into a house and the man got to his pistol and shot it 5 times in the chest and it ran out off. So I mean, this thing is close up.
Yeah.
So this thing has been around and it's awfully vicious.
Especially to take what, 6, what kind of gun? Was it a revolver he was using or what?
Yeah, he was using a revolver. It was probably, he was a Brit, the fellow I'm speaking about. And it's probably of the 38 caliber type,
Yeah.
So, but it was close up and I guess it hurt it, enough that it ran off. But just to give a little background to everybody, the Nandi bear is a creature that lives in East Africa. It gets its name from the Nandi people, who are a tribe that live in Western Kenya. The Nandi bear, it's a ferocious nocturnal carnivore with high front shoulders and a sloping back. All right, so it sort of gives you the feeling that, oh, it's just a hyena. No, all reports that I've read and some of the pictures also advise that this thing is like twice the size of what they call a forest hyena. And a forest spotted hyena. And a forest spotted hyena is big. It's bigger than your normal hyena.
Yeah.
So to begin with, it's huge. I've read, oh gosh, I don't know how many reports you read, but from 1902 all the way to 1998, I've read reports on this thing, and the height of it, they're saying, is anywhere from 4 feet to 6 feet tall.
That's massive.
Yeah, one man claimed it was like 8 feet tall, but I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but that may have been the exception.
Right.
So that was one report. Another report said 7 feet tall, but when you're in a panic and this thing is in the same room as you and you're trying to get away from it, the thing stands up on its hind legs and you're now freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, reports have been on this thing since I believe it was 1887 when I was able to see the first reports on it. And that's by British people that were in Africa, in settlements over there. I mean, the Brits have settlements all over the world, and specifically South Africa, but this is up a little bit higher in Eastern Africa.
Right.
So that's basically where most of the reports have been seen. I have some notes over here. Let's see. Okay, the hair, it's a reddish brown hair generally, a thick and a very stocky body. So this thing is very stocky, very muscular. I think you were commenting before the show about its foot posture. I believe it goes inwards with the feet,
inward
paws.
Yeah,
And it's similar to a bear.
Yes.
Something I found on many reports says that it swipes just like a bear would attack.
Just like a bear.
Yeah. What else we have with this thing?
Killing the prey before they drag it away, which hyenas will not do. Hyenas leech you alive. Well, this thing seems to like to kill its prey before it devours it.
It'll kill its prey, but a hyena will drag it away if it needs to, or eat it right there. This thing, on at least 2 reports that I read, have it grabbing the prey in its mouth and jumping a 6-foot fence. Hyenas don't do that.
They do not do that. No.
And I want to reiterate that this thing is like twice the size of a large spotted forest hyena.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, it has reddish brown hair, very stocky build. Let's see. The last time it was seen was in 1998. That's what the reports that I've had here. However, in 2006, we have a couple of people from a Doctors Over Borders saying that they saw a bear-like creature, and when interviewed, they were asked if it could not have been a large lion, and they said no, this thing looked like a bear. But the last time there was any bears in Africa, I think, was the Atlas bear, and the last one,
Pleistocene, right?
Yeah, and the last one was actually shot by some hunters in Africa. So I mean, that was way back in like 1902.
Yeah.
So the Atlas bear was a very big bear, and it came from the old days. And by old days, I'm saying like prehistoric time, practically. It was one of the survivors. But look where we're talking. We're talking Africa, and it's conducive for animals to be able to survive there because of all the food. It's a hot temperature. I was going to say a warm temperature. No, not at all. It's a hot temperature. So they can thrive in that. They're not going to freeze, or anything like that. And there's just tons and tons of food. The only thing they may be looking for is water, but I guess they have their ways and their senses about how to find water. But something interesting about this Nandi bear also was in 1998. It's the Koru Kisuma Road, and it was at the base of the Nandi escarpment. Now, the Nandi villagers who live in Western Kenya, it was right near them, and these were aid workers. And one of the gentlemen was an engineer also. So, I mean, they weren't just a bunch of people going around Africa looking at the wildlife and everything. They were actually driving down the roadway, and they saw this thing sauntering across the road. And it had like a swagger, a back and forth wiggle type swagger that you would see in a regular bear. And what struck these people was that the size. They had never seen something like this. And according to the reports, they had been in Africa for over 2 years, and they were in Africa before on and off over the last 5 years. So, and this is the first time that they saw something that looked like the Nandi bear.
Yeah.
You know what? Too bad Gary's not on. I'm going to try to bring it up because I really think at this point it would be good to show the audience what this Nandi bear looks like. And I think I could probably share my screen.
I'm gonna fix that so you can do it right now.
Yeah, definitely. If you can do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this.
You're all set.
Okay, good. And then anything else you got to comment on that while I'm bringing this up?
Well, the interesting part I was reading, it says the perhaps most well-known theory, okay, first proposed by Charles William Andrews in 1924 and later supported by Louis Leakey. The theory is that it may be a living Chalithico there, if I'm saying that right.
Right.
A horse-like animal with a sloping back. This theory originated with the discovery of the very recent Chalithicae bones in Uganda and observations that Chalithicaes were contemporaneous with the ancestors of the Okapi. See, now that doesn't sound much like a hyena-looking creature to me.
No.
Because the Okapi is why that's kind of like they got the stripes like they look like a horse, right? The Okapi.
Yeah. Now a horse is easy to tell. That doesn't look like a bear.
No. So as far as I'm concerned, that theory can be tossed right out the window.
I have two pictures here. I just wanted to get one more. Yeah, I mean, some of the theories that they've come up with just doesn't jive with all of the descriptions that that people have given on the Nandi bear.
Right.
I mean, it's basically looks like, a cross between a bear and a hyena. And especially with the fact that a hyena has that shortness, that slope. The front end is higher than the back end.
Right.
And a regular bear is actually level. The front and rear legs are level.
Right.
And this thing has been known to go up on all bipedal, to stand up on its legs just like a bear does. So it has a lot of the habits of a bear.
Yeah, and you know what I thought of when I was reading this was the sightings of the hyena-like dogmen that we have here in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the first things that came to mind, to be honest with you.
Let's see. I'm trying to get... I'm probably doing it the wrong way. It's probably doing it the long way, but...
Yeah, right here, Nick, it says, in light of the Nandi bear's hyena-like attributes, which are especially apparent in most recent accounts, Carl Schuker has suggested it may represent a living relative of the short-faced hyena, which was much larger than any modern hyena and is known to have lived in East Africa until the late Pleistocene. Right. Almost all of the more recent Nandi bear sightings describe the animal as a giant hyena. So, yeah. Right. And like you said, Africa is very good at hiding its hidden species. I know that was kind of a double negative I just said, but it's very well at hiding some of its, fauna. And could one of these things still could have made it through? And in my opinion, yes. In Africa, it's a perfect place to lay low and not let yourself be seen too much.
Yeah. And I mean, it's actually a really good place to do that. All right, let me see now. Where is this thing here? Share. Okay, here we go. Share. Okay. And hopefully this will work. Can you see that?
Go, Nick. All right.
All right, there's one of them anyway.
Nasty looking thing, isn't it?
Ha, big and furry. Actually, I wouldn't mind having one as a pet. He's cute. Nice and furry.
Put one of those spiked wolf collars across its neck. like they do with those big Kangals out in Turkey.
Oh my God. Those are giant dogs. But
huge
comparison. I wish they had something to compare this with in size.
Me too.
Because it looks warm and cuddly, but it's actually I don't know. I would say it would be the size of a small hippopotamus. the way they
Yeah.
size and everything on it. Let's see now. I gotta. How do
I
I?
would have liked to have known an estimated weight.
Oh yeah,
Did you find anything on that or no?
nothing on estimated weight. No.
Me neither.
Let's see. This thing is all right. Share. Ah, darn. Thought I had more than that. I should. Is this the one? Yep. Here we go.
There we go.
Oh, what
And
is
just
this? Why is that happening?
yeah, that happens all the time. We gotta just pick the one that. See.
I guess I just have to go with this one here.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
do I? Let's see.
Should
Stop.
click on it and it should pop right up. I
Stop
thought
share.
Jerry's the expert on that.
Yeah. Let's see if I can just get this to. I'm going to shrink. Now there it is again. Can you see it?
I can't see it. No.
You can't see it. Okay. So that means I can get rid of that. As long as you're still there. Yeah, I wish I could have put this other one on, but it's just not working for me for some reason. All right. I guess I'll have to get rid of that. And resize. Here we go. All right. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right. So getting back to this thing here.
Yeah.
The Nandi bear, it hunts other animals. And
Yes.
generally, even but throughout the years from 1903 to 1997, there are numerous reports. I shouldn't say numerous, well over 60 reports of it hunting and killing, and specifically going after humans. When it does go after a human, a lot of the times they found the human practically scalped. I don't know if you read about that one.
I didn't.
But it also did that to its animal prey that it hunted. There was baboons that the Nandi bear supposedly hunted and ripped the scalp open. I'm thinking this. Animals will go after first the organs. The brain is an organ, so maybe it ate the brain.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ripped open the chest, ate the heart, the liver, kidneys and stuff like that. So maybe that's why it scalped it. One of the reports told me that the Nandi bear broke into a house, busted the door down. Now, mind you, it's not a house like we have here, but even a regular bear, a black bear, smacks your front door unless you have a reinforced door and something holding it. It's going to smack that door wide open because a bear, bear is like 10 to 12 times stronger than a human. I've got special things to hold my front door shut that'll take up to 1,600 pounds. And most people don't have that. I like the old days where they used to put the 2x4 down there. You could put a couple of 2x4s, to help reinforce the door from getting busted open.
Right.
In reference to this was just like a, I guess just a shack type of a place. So it was no, superhuman feat, but the idea that the thing busted the door down, there was 5 people in there, and all 5 people were killed.
Wow.
All right, that's one. Then there was another one that I told you about. And I guess this one was in 1925. It came into the shack. The guy, it was a Brit. It came into his house, and it chased him around. And he finally in his house. And he finally grabbed the gun and he put 5 bullets in its chest, and the thing ran off. But it was still alive, but point blank range, 5 bullets. There was another story that I read in the 1940s. I don't have the specific date on that, but it was in the 1940s. It came into the house once again, front door, bashed it through, and ate the guy up. He just killed the man, ate him, and scalped him.
And scalped him too.
So
Yeah.
This shows me then that these things, they'll hunt. They'll hunt humans. They'll hunt animals, whatever's available out there.
Yep. Kind of like a polar bear.
Oh God!
They'll hunt humans. They'll hunt. They're strictly meat eaters. They'll hunt humans. So it kind of reminds me of polar bear behavior.
Bear behavior. I mean, a black bear you could fight. A brown bear or grizzly bear, or you're really you can't lay down and play dead because it's going to rip you apart.
Yep.
And a polar bear, forget about it. Right from the get-go, it's going to kill you.
It's going to kill you. Whether it's 500 yards away from you on a different ice cap, it's going to find a way to get to you, and it's going to eat you.
And something else about polar bears. I mean, if you've ever seen, specifics on them, weight and size, 12 feet tall.
12 feet tall.
I mean, my God, I've been to the National Zoo over in DC, and they have a few polar bears there, and I don't know, it looks like even a little bit bigger than 12 feet tall. They are huge. And they're carnivores, right to the end.
Right to the end, yeah.
There was another report. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, anything that can lift a beluga by a beluga whale's blowhole and drag it on top of an ice cap, is damn strong.
That is super strong. I mean, how it could get a beluga whale and drag it up there.
Drag it up.
Like I said, black bear is about 10, maybe 12 times stronger than a male, a human. A brown bear, 15 plus.
Yeah.
When you're talking about just a 10-foot polar bear.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I read 20 about the strength of 20 men, and that's crazy. 20 very strong men. Now, I know this is going to get off topic a teeny bit, but there's the growler bears, where the brown bears mate with the polar bears when they meet in the middle. I guess Canada is a good place for dating for big bears.
I guess so.
They'll meet. A growler bear is like super. I mean, the thickness on these things is even more thick than a regular brown bear or grizzly bear, and they're even more thick than a polar bear. I mean, the enormous strength of these things.
And it has an attitude of the two combined together, which is scary.
Yeah. It's not like a black bear. It'll like leave you alone if you try to scare it.
Right.
Which reminds me, a friend of mine who went hunting with 5 other partners. They were out, and sometimes black bear, their their hair changes color to like a brownish color.
Yeah.
And the reason is to help it not get eaten by brown bear or grizzly bears. And I guess those things, nature is hoping that it won't go after him and kill him, because a brown bear will kill a black bear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, these fellows, there's 6 guys out there. They were hunting, and they were hunting black bear, and they see this bear, and it's brown in color. Yeah. And they're going, wait a minute. It's actually a black bear with its hair turned brown. It's camouflage against the brown bear, so it wouldn't get hurt. Well, it turns out that this bear, it was smaller than a brown bear, but it turns out that this bear was actually a brown bear, was a female. And what comes out of the tree line charging these guys is probably its boyfriend, a male brown bear. And these guys said, 2 of the guys were like frozen in place. 4 of the fellows, they picked up their rifles and they just peppered this thing with 308s, 30-06, and they dropped the bear about a good 40 feet away from them. And I'm saying that's pretty damn close.
Too close for comfort, man.
40 feet.
40 feet.
If anybody measures their front door to the back sliding door in their house, Yeah, that's probably 40 feet, maybe a little bit longer. But even just looking that length, that's pretty close. Mind you, they hit this thing several times. Probably hit it in different parts, not a killing shot. And this thing moving. And this thing dropped, but they thought that the female bear was actually, just a black bear that its hair turned.
Right.
That was a mistake they made that luckily they survived.
Lucky, very lucky. Very lucky.
So anyway, there was another report in 1960 where over in Kenya, a 6-year-old girl was taken from her village and right out from the middle of the street by a Nandi bear.
Yes, I did read that.
Snatched her up and took her out into the forest and never to be seen again.
Oh my God.
So this thing is pretty darn vicious, if you ask me.
A lot of the description, Nick, reminds me of a brown hyena too.
All right.
A little bit.
Yeah. But the problem is the brown hyena is not the same size.
Not the same size, no, but I'm speaking of the heavy coat and
yeah. It does have a heavy coat. I do have to admit that. Now, in speculating about it, like I said, people think it's a giant spotted forest hyena, but I don't know. I kind of think that it's its own animal, it's its own being. I think it's a cryptid of some sort. Well, I mentioned before a growler bear. That's a brown bear and a polar bear, and then you have the what are those? The liger, tiger and a lion, and that they specifically got the two species together and mated them, and the liger is actually bigger, than either of the lion or the tiger by themselves.
Yeah, 1,000 pounds plus, aren't they?
Yeah, or actually more than that. Actually, even more than 1,000 pounds, and they're gigantic.
That's huge.
Of these things is huge. I saw one in a zoo, and it was just on loan, and they actually had one of the trainers walking next to it. This thing was up to the guy's throat, and I would say the guy was maybe about 5'9", 5'10", so the back was really high.
That's massive.
Walking right next to this thing. Evidently, they're very trainable, and maybe they got it from being a cub. Because if you get anything when it's small, you can convince it that it shouldn't eat you, and that you're the mother or father of it.
Right.
But I kind of think it. I don't know. I can't see a lion mating with a bear at all.
I can't either.
But I could see a lion mating with a hyena.
That I could see as possible.
So that's where I'm throwing my money on, saying that it's possible that a male lion mated with a female hyena in heat.
Right.
Now I'll probably take some heat on this because people will say, well, lions and hyenas don't get along, but I don't know. When I know when my dogs were outside, and I had mostly female dogs, and they were in heat before I got them, spayed. Every dog within 5 miles was trying to come to the house, and hang out. And anytime anybody was walking their male dog by, the house, that dog would try to pull them up to the front door.
Sure.
So that scent is extremely what word can I use for it? It has a magnetic pull, a super magnetic pull.
Yeah.
So if it's a male lion and maybe it's been a while for him and he's sniffing on a female hyena, maybe that's how it started.
And like an old lion that gets kicked out of the pride when a new one takes over. And they're off by themselves. He, like you said, hasn't had it in a while, and comes across a female hyena and eat.
And maybe it happened more than once because evidently throughout the years from the 1887 all the way up to the last time they say they saw one. Well, last time I got was 2006, but according to this one here where the engineer and the aid worker saw it was 1998. That's the one I was mentioning that was in right near the Nandi tribe.
Yeah.
And they call it an escarpment. I have no idea what that is.
And people, just for what Nick just mentioned, it was an engineer and what, Nick? An aid worker, right?
An aid worker, yeah.
So we're talking about two educated individuals that would know what a regular hyena looked like.
Yeah. Oh no, they knew what it looked like.
Yeah.
Their background was a male and a female. They were driving. Their background is this: they had been there for 2 years, and before that, they had been there, for every year for 3 years, so a total of 5 years.
So they knew what they were looking at.
Yeah, and they knew what they were looking at. They've seen elephants, they've seen lions, hyenas.
Yeah.
You name it, they saw everything there. They made it a point because they were going to be there anyway. And the engineer was helping them with aquifers and building bridges.
Yeah.
So I mean, he must have seen his share of crocodiles and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
Hippos, and things like. I mean, I guarantee you, these people were no rookies, to the scene in Africa.
No.
So anyway, that's my guess. My guess is it was a female hyena in heat, a male lion happened to be around, and it probably happened more than once. And it's not so hard to imagine. I mean, if you ever look at any of these shows that show you about Africa, the open plains, the unexplored areas in Africa.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if somebody actually came across a live or even a dead Atlas bear still.
Me too.
They say that the last one was shot, but I don't know. That Africa is unexplored in a lot of areas, just like South America is unexplored in a lot of areas.
Like South America, yeah.
And I don't know. It just wouldn't surprise me. With all the reading that I do in zoology and all the animals that have existed and still do exist today, some of this stuff is just it's absolutely amazing. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, South America, the size of some of the snakes that they have there,
ungodly.
I mean, a snake that's as round as a manhole cover and 30 feet long, are par for the course in some parts of South America.
Yep.
So I mean, it just wouldn't surprise me if these things popped up. That's why I just don't get it that people are like, oh, there's no such thing as a Bigfoot, no such thing as a dog man or a Mothman. Well, gee, you're telling me to prove it, but how about you proving it that they don't exist?
Exactly.
Why are thousands and thousands of people over the decades reporting this all the time?
Thousands of years back.
Yeah. And as far as UFOs, alien life goes, I mean, are we so conceited and old and what's
ignorant.
that?
Ignorant.
Well, yeah, if you want to call it ignorant. But are we so fed with our own self that we can't think that a galaxy as large as the one that we're in, a universe that there's not other living life out there?
That's just stupid not to think that. It's stupid. Yeah.
I mean, the possibility. I mean, and you see, the government has now had several, not just one or two, but just in the past couple of years, they've had several conferences in front of Congress.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the UFOs now. It's coming out.
It's coming out. Yeah.
And like I had said on another show a few years back, I said anywhere from 1.5 to maybe 3 years, and they're going to be coming out with it, and they're going to be talking about Bigfoot or Sasquatch, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming out talking about Dogman and all these and aliens and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's and that's why I don't think that something like the Nandi bear is so far off.
It's not. out of all the cryptids we've done, this is one that it could be most, one of the most real cryptids we've done. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It's somewhat of a celebrity too, Nick. I don't know if you read the part where it's appeared in a bunch of Tarzan comic books over the years.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
something else, I forgot what it was. I wish I would have noted it. I was blowing through article after article and books. I think it's in one of my books. There was another place where it appeared. I mean, they specifically said the Nandi bear.
Nandi bear. Yeah.
And it showed a photograph of, I guess they made this thing, and an FX creator made this thing up, and this was back in the 90s. And it showed the Nandi bear next to a human,
Yeah.
and it was part of the movie that they were making about it. So yeah, this, and it's probably the cutest looking thing too. I mean, a dog man, a Sasquatch, they look nasty, but the Nandi bear, it's like, gee, yeah, I wish I could find a baby one and use it, keep it as a pet.
Yeah.
I feel bad for some of these people that actually find animals out there, and they're babies, and they're in dire need of medical care and food and water, and they take them home and they bring them up, and 5 months later the thing is like a foot and a half long, and it's got big ears, and they're like, oh shit, I have a lynx, or another guy he found, and I don't know how he did this. It's in the United States. He did find a hyena, and I don't know how he found the hyena. Maybe it was yeah, I probably got away. It was a baby. Okay. And this thing sounds just like a hyena. They were showing pictures of it as they're growing it up, and I take it the thing is like 4 months old now.
Right.
Probably got away from someplace. Who knows?
I guaranteed.
And I do know for a fact that a lot of these Mexican drug lords, they like to have exotic animals, and maybe in the United States, Arizona, New Mexico, maybe one of these drug lords had a hyena or two, and the little one got away, but it's not beyond the area of probability.
Not at all.
But these people found it, and it was funny because they're showing the video of this thing, and it's under the table, and it's making noises, and it's making like laughing type noises, but I don't mean like a regular laugh, but close to it. And I'm looking at this thing. I'm looking at this thing saying they got a baby hyena. Didn't they take it to a vet, get it checked out? Or maybe it looked like a cat or something when they first found it.
Yeah, or a dog, puppy of some sort. Who knows? Did you read anything about this thing having a streak, white streak down the backside of it, down the hindquarters?
No, I haven't. I didn't read that one. The only other thing I did read was it's reddish and brown, but there have been reports of black and gray.
Okay, I didn't read that anywhere. Wow,
that's a possibility also.
Okay,
this is a cool thing. But I am kind of glad that it's over there, all the way around the world, and it's not over here. Because
me too. We got enough to deal with.
Yeah, they openly come out and try to hunt humans.
I
guess when there's no easy prey to kill, it'll come after you.
And for something like that, there's no easier prey than a human being. If they're unarmed and just part of a tribe walking down the savannah, and then they get snatched by a Nandi bear. Ruin your whole day right there.
Your kid is out in the front yard playing, and next thing you know, your 7-year-old is gone because it got snatched. And it's going to be eaten. So it's like, that's kind of basically all I have. I mean, I'm going to leave everybody else for their opinion what it is, and like I said, to me, it's a hybrid. I know a lion doesn't look like a bear, but maybe the combination of the two made it look similar to a bear, the hyena and a lion. It does have the shorter back legs. It's very broad chest, very wide shoulders. I'm going like this. It's even wider than that. according to measurements that they took.
Right.
And I guess the Brits have really done a lot of investigation on that. And like I said, the father of cryptozoology, Bernard Heuvelmans, he came in on it too, and he disagrees with those people that say, that it's a horse-like animal or it's what do you call it? A baboon.
Baboon.
A giant baboon. No, not a giant baboon either.
No.
I mean, because I looked up the footprints on a giant baboon. It doesn't leave that type of footprints that this thing
looks nothing like it.
And besides, the Nandi bear is supposedly extremely big.
Yeah.
I mean, if people go to a zoo or even look at it on television where they have it in comparison with other animals, a regular hyena is pretty big.
Yeah, they're real big. I mean, what they get bigger than a big dog, don't they?
Oh, way bigger than a big dog. Yeah.
300 pounds. Do they get up to about 300?
Yeah.
A big male, a big female. I mean, because the females get bigger than the males and the hyenas, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. The females are the bigger of the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a big animal.
It's a big, massive animal.
Yeah. And a Nandi bear, if it's twice the size of the biggest, I mean, this thing could be toting around 700 pounds.
800 pounds, 800 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is, that's scary. That's a big animal. Massive animal.
Yeah, that's about all I got on it, except, for attacks that it's done over the years and and what it's left behind. What it leaves behind is not too much.
Exactly. Exactly. And folks, we'd love to hear your comments in our on the YouTube channel Paranormal and Cryptid Crossroads Research. Leave Nick and I some comments on what you each week when we do a cryptid, we'd love to hear your input on what you think these things are.
Yeah, especially this one here. I'd like to see what your ideas are.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't see an Atlas bear mating with a lion. So
no.
Lion and hyena to me, they're like in the same area, like felines.
Right.
That I could see, but I don't know. I can't see a bear and a hyena, no matter how bad off that bear is. I think you would just have a big fight. That's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with this topic, Nandi bear, but I don't know, Jay, did you see the and I'm glad somebody put it out there. They had the different sizes and weights of Sasquatch that have been seen and reported by people over the years.
Yes, I did see that.
You did. Yeah, that's good, because you and I were discussing that 15-footer that I almost had come across in New York State that I went up on that one call with two of my guys. And that thing happened. I believe it did it because there was nothing else out there that threw a log at us, and
we're famous for that.
Tall, you and I were talking, the thing must be about 3,000 pounds.
We're on the same page with that one. I think people underestimate the weights of these creatures.
Now that chart that the fellow put out, I should have copied it and kept it on my desktop, but that chart actually vindicated what we were talking about. He had all kinds of scientific data, and he says 15 feet tall, 3,000 plus pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
My God, I can't.
Massive.
I'm sorry, people. I can't imagine something 15 feet tall, 3,000 pounds.
That's huge.
And it's not the first time anybody's reported something being that big. I mean, in the last, there have been reports of them in Eastern Canada. There's been reports of it. So, and where I went up on that one call, the lady that took the pictures, and I threw up a tape measure, the eyes were 15 feet up.
15 feet.
Compared to the tree. And like I said, there was no branches there. People, there was no branches on this tree. This tree was like a 30-foot tree straight up. Branches were up way higher. And when we slapped a measurement on it, and it was the one that she took the pictures of, and you could see the eyes glowing there. This thing was about 15 feet. But 15 Eating 3,000 pounds. Oh God.
Yeah, that's
All we had were
ungodly.
308s at the time, 308 rifles. Geez, Jay, I don't know. I don't know if a 50 cal would tickle this thing, but I know the 308s would have been useless. I'm just glad it didn't decide to, come out in front of us and say, okay, snack time.
Yeah.
And I mean, you and I know what I'm talking about. I was there because of a dog man sighting, and it happened to be a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Let the lady know, and let her also know not to put food out anymore in her backyard.
No.
But anyway, that's all I got for this one. And
same here.
Hopefully next week we're gonna, if we all agree on it, we'll have something that's pretty similar to it, but in a different part.
Yeah, it is pretty similar, but different. Yeah, at the same time.
I have to learn how to pronounce the name of this thing first.
I know some of these words are hard to pronounce on here, especially. Hopefully, we'll have the whole crew back next week.
Yeah, I'm hoping Gary's feeling better and he'll be back.
Yeah, me too.
All right, folks. So listen, everybody, be careful out there and remember to look up. And please, when you do field investigations, go out with more than one person, maybe 3 of you or more.
Yeah.
Take safety precautions. Please, at least pepper spray. I know a lot of people can't or maybe are unable to carry firearms. But really, be careful out there. Make sure you have the right clothing. You tell somebody where you're going and when you should be back.
I was just going to say that. Yep, that's important. That's a very important part of it.
Just let them know.
Yep.
Know where you're going, and be careful out there, please.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, Jay. Well, I'm going to say good night to you and everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next weekend. Next week. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.